Hello my beauts and welcome to day 14. So just feeling inspired by the day. I think we're going to do some nice heart opening poses because I just feel very much full of love today. So we're going to do lots of poses, opening up the chest, sending our lovely heart chakra all the way radiating out in front of us. And obviously at our heart chakra sits our generosity, our courage, our compassion, our kindness, love. So what a beautiful practice to do for our 14th day of yoga together. So as always, finding a comfortable seat. We'll just start off by grounding ourselves into our practice today, grounding ourselves into the next 15 minutes as we share this time together. So again, it can be on a chair, it can be on the floor, it can be in a bolster, just picking whatever feels good for you. I'll do my usual shimmying back. Didn't even make it as far as the mat today, but that's all fine. So just noticing when I am sitting cross-legged, so a lot of you remember from school, you have your ankles on top of each other, so one of the knees slightly lifted, and you're putting pressure on that bottom ankle there. If you can, just see if you can have just one ankle sat in front of the other. You see, so both knees are down, and one might be a bit higher than the other due to different levels of hip tightness, but it's just so we're not putting any pressure on the body. So when you found your nice comfortable seat, and if it feels comfortable to you, just closing your eyes. I'm just going to tune into this present moment. We're going to use our exhales, our nice natural exhales, just to let go of anything that might have happened to us before the practice. Just offer that up for the next 15 minutes. You can come back to that later. For the next 15 minutes, you're just concentrating on yourself, your movement, your breath, your body. So exhaling away those tasks maybe that you have to do after the practice. Just with every breath, just coming more back into this present moment. And if it's comfortable for you, maybe placing both hands on that heart center. This is a wonderful chakra, the Anahata chakra, that we're going to be working on for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I mentioned before, one of the attributes of this heart chakra is gratitude. I don't know if I did mention that, I think I said generosity, but gratitude. So just spending a few moments just maybe asking the question, what am I grateful for? And we're not going to search for that answer, we're just offering up that question. What am I grateful for? And maybe tuning into the body, see if you can feel the faint rhythm of your heart pulsing underneath those hands. Noticing its rhythm, its strength. Maybe if you can't feel it, just using the imagination, just imagining that heart beating within the chest, giving you your life force, bringing you to the mat, to this practice today. We're going to drop our hands back down onto the top of our thighs now, palms facing down, dropping the chin in towards the chest and blinking the eyes open to a point in front before taking in the rest of the room. And we'll get on with our moving part of the practice. So obviously we're wanting to open up that chest, but we've got to warm up the body first. So we're just going to start, like I say, with hands, palms facing down on the top of the thighs. We're going to go through our lazy cat and cow poses. So on the inhale, we're going to tilt that tailbone back, lift the chest, the head and the neck up. And the exhale, drawing the chin in towards the chest, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and tucking that tailbone under, tucking the bum under. Inhale, sending that tailbone back out, lifting the chest, the head and the neck up, opening up through that chest. And then the exhale, chin in towards the chest, belly button in towards the spine, tailbone tucked under. So just moving between these two poses. And And as always, allowing the breath to be the guide. The breath doesn't follow the movement. It's the movement of the body that follows the breath, so the breath is always initiating the movement. It's going to decide when the movement ends. And all we're trying to do is synchronize the two. We're going to bring the arms into our movement as well. So the next time we come to inhale, the tailbone goes down, the chest and the neck goes forwards. We're going to open up those arms, palms facing the ceiling, opening up that chest to the sky. And then exhale, tucking the tailbone under, chin towards chest and interlacing the fingers in front. Really opening it up through the back side of the body. Inhale to open up, tailbone back, palms facing up. And exhale, rounding through again, maybe changing which index finger goes on the top this time. But just being true to our breath and just honouring our own breath and our own movements. We're going to do another round of this. Do your next inhale with the chest nice and open. On the exhale, we're just going to float those hands all the way back down. Going to make our way onto our mat if you haven't already been. We're going to stand at the top of the mat. So you'll be standing this way, but just for the sake of this video, I'll stand in the middle and I'll be facing you. We're just going to work through the sun breath just to warm up the whole body before we do any more chest openers. So bring the hands down by the sides, palms facing forward. With an inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead, fingertips or palms to touch at the top. And the exhale, hinging at the hips, we're going to dive forward, bending those knees comfortably, bring the hands down to the mat or hovering just above. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. And exhale, releasing the hands all the way back down into forward fold, Uttanasana. When you need to inhale again, the arms sweep up and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, bring those hands in that prayer pose down the midline of the body. And just pausing at that heart center. We're going to do one more round before we make our ways down onto our bellies. So dropping the hands down by the side. Inhale to sweep the arms up and overhead. Fingertips or palms to touch at the top. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Diving forward, bend those knees comfortably, bringing the weight into the balls of the big toes. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, hands come all the way back down once more, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms around up and overhead, fingertips or palms to touch at the top. Exhale, hands come down the midline of the body, and they're just going to rest at that heart center. Taking a full, complete breath here, in through the nose, and again out through the nose. Letting the arms fall down by the sides. We'll do a little vinyasa to get down onto our tummy. So once more, sweeping those arms up and overhead, fingertips or palms to touch. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips, we dive forward, bring the hands to the mat or hovering just above. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. And then exhale, hands either side of the feet. We're going to step the left foot back, lower that back knee, and then step the right foot back, bring the right knee down onto the mat too. Taking in an inhale here. Then on the exhale, we're just going to shift that body weight forward, coming into a nice assisted plank pose. So just making sure that those wrists are underneath the shoulders. I'm just going to pause here just for one breath. And on the exhale, keeping the elbows as close to our body as we can, we're going to lower our body all the way down onto the mat. With your next inhale, peeling the chest, the neck and the head up, coming to our baby cobra. Keep it nice and gentle for the first one. And exhale to release all the way back down. We're going to do that again. So with the inhale, peeling the chest, the neck and the head up. And exhale, releasing all the way back down. We're going to do that one more time.
Inhale, peeling the chest, the neck and the head up, coming into baby cobra, and then exhale to release all the way back down. On the inhale, tucking the toes under, and the exhale, using the strength in the arms and the hands, we're just going to push ourselves down, back into child's pose. So you can take this child's pose with your knees where they are, or if that's uncomfortable, you can take them to the widest part of your mat, then just bring the big toes into touch. And you can make this as much of a stretch as you like. You can walk the hands out in front, at the same time sending those sit bones all the way to the wall behind. It's more of an active version of the child's pose. Then with the next inhale, we're going to bring the body back upright, bring the wrists, shoulders back over the wrists, Inhale, we're going to tuck those toes under, and lift those back knees up off the mat. Breathing here, inhale. And then exhale, lowering those knees back down once more, uncurling the toes, taking another breath here. Then on the exhale, slowly lowering the body back down onto the mat, the elbows close to the body. Inhale, peeling up to baby cobra once more. And then exhaling to release all the way back down. Going to make our way into Sphinx pose. So with the inhale, peeling the chest, the head and the neck up off the mat. Then we're just going to bring our elbows to come directly underneath our shoulders. And we want our forearms to be in line with those shoulders, palms facing down. We're just going to open up the chest here. If this feels uncomfortable on your lower back, then there's other options. You can take your arms slightly wider than the shoulders a distance apart. And you can even spin the hands so they go more on a diagonal, just making more space for the body. If either versions feel uncomfortable, then just release the body down and just return to that movement of baby cobra, peeling up on the inhale, and then on the exhale, lowering back down. So working with your breath. Just going to take a few more breaths here if we have come into our traditional Sphinx pose. Making sure those shoulders are dropped down away from the ears. Then on the exhale, we're going to walk those elbows out wide, just so we've got room to slowly lower the body all the way back down onto the mat. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, we're going to tuck the toes under. Take an inhale here. Then on an exhale, we're going to peel the body up and back, coming into downward facing dog. So keeping those knees nice and comfortably bent. You can pedal out the back of the feet, alternating which heel lowers to the floor on an inhale. Seeing if we can get those ears in line with the biceps and just pulling that belly button in. I'm going to take one more breath here. And then on the exhale, we're going to slowly lower those knees back down onto the mat. I'm going to walk our hands up towards those knees, bringing the torso to an upright position. So coming into Uttanasana now. So as you can see, I've still got my toes curled under, having a nice stretch on the plantar of the foot. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, just untucking the toes and then sitting the bum back down on the heels. Obviously this can be quite restrictive for a lot of people. So again, grabbing pillows, grabbing blocks, whatever works for you, and just placing them in between the lower legs, just so when you sit down, you can adjust which height so for whatever feels good for your body today. And we're just going to take a moment of pause. Coming back to the breath once more, just before we go into our last heart opener. And when you're ready, I'm just going to bring the whole torso up right now, so keeping hips over our knees. I'm going to try and keep that in place for when we do our next stretch, the camel pose. So with the camel pose, there's much of a temptation to send those hips jutting forward, going over the knees, but we're going to really try and consciously keep them under keep them directly over the knees. So we're going to keep this bit. Oh, luckily I've got seam on my trousers. Whoop, I'm going to keep that vertical. Well, that's my aim anyway. So first of all, just sweeping the arms up and overhead. And then on the exhale, we're going to sweep the arms down, at the same time rotating the hands so that the palms face downwards, opening up that chest. And then we're going to slide our hands into invisible pockets, like our jean pockets, down on our back sides. So just noticing how that opens up the chest. You're going to just take a few breaths here, drawing the shoulder blades in towards one another. Let's shine that light up towards the sky. So the light on your chest, projecting that up towards the ceiling. And this might be enough of a camel pose for you, or there is the option, if you do have a bolster or a pillow or some blocks handy, you can always place them along those lovely calf muscles on the back of the body. So I've got a pillow here, but I do also have a bolster if I needed to. And again, we're just going to place them so the fingers are facing the wall behind, and then probably would have been better with a bolster because the pillow sags. Again, making sure that those hips stay over the knees. I'm just going to lean back once more, opening up the chest. Remembering to breathe. And obviously, if you're an expert yogi, you've done it before, or you just know your body, you can get rid of any props. I'm not going to do it because it's not particularly good for my body, but you can bring the hands all the way down onto those calves. Can you see my temptation there was when I do it, I'm starting to lean back, whereas I still need to keep those hip bones over the knee bone. But just leaning back and resting the hands on the very bottom of the calves. And again, just remembering to breathe in whichever version feels good for you. Taking one more breath. And on the exhale, bring the torso back upright, shaking out the hands. We're just going to bring the hands back down onto the mat, wrists underneath the shoulders. And we're just going to walk the knees to the widest part of our mat, coming into wide-legged child's pose, bringing the big toes into touch, taking in the breath here through the nose. And on the exhale, sending those sit bones back once more towards the heels, or you can place blocks down underneath just so you can rest down. And then we're going to walk the hands out in front and just allow the body to melt down into the mat. Another lovely opportunity to close the eyes, maybe reflect on your day that you've had, or if you're doing it in the morning, we're just going to come to this present moment, not worry about what we have to do after our practice. And then only when you feel ready, start walking those hands back up towards the body, bringing the torso back up into that upright position. We're going to make our way back into our Sukhasana, so our easy seat, so if that's on the chair or on the floor. And we're just going to finish off with our 4 intentions. So placing one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Setting the intention to have a joyful and energetic body. Bottom hand comes to the hand over the heart centre. We set our second intention to have a loving and compassionate heart. As you can hear, my dogs agree truly with this intention. A loving and compassionate heart. Bringing the hands out in front, fingertips are touched, but the palms are away from one another. We set our intention to have a clear, reflective, and alert mind.
Then bringing the base of the hands to touch and opening just the 3 middle fingers. We set our final intention together. This intention is to have lightness in our being. And bring those fingers to close, the palms to touch, and drawing that prayer towards the heart center. Thank you very much for joining me on day 14. I look forward to the next 16 days with you. From my heart to yours, namaste. And tomorrow we'll be halfway through. That's a huge achievement. Right, I'll see you tomorrow then. Bye-bye.